There is a strange kind of wisdom hidden in the quiet spaces of life and ancient truth that most rush past, racing toward destinations they haven't even defined. It's the paradox that destroys peace or ignites prosperity depending on how you hold it in your mind. Learn to be happy with what you have while you pursue all that you want. That isn't just philosophy, it's architecture for the soul. Because if you miss this, if you chase endlessly without anchoring yourself in gratitude, your life becomes a thirst that no ocean can quench. And if you settle without stretching, your spirit rots behind the walls of comfort. So, how do you hold both? How do you find contentment while you're still hungry? It begins with a mindset forged in fire, not fantasy. You do not build greatness by accident. You do not attract abundance by whining or waiting. You must wake up. Happiness is not a finish line, it is a foundation. Not the trophy at the end, but the terrain you plant your feet on when the road gets hard. If you cannot be grateful for the breath in your lungs, you will not be grateful for the mansion you dream of. And if you cannot love yourself in discipline, you will not love yourself in luxury. See, there are two kinds of people in this world. Those who say, "I'll be happy when," and those who say, "I am happy now, even as I become more." The first group lives in delay, dangling their joy like a carrot on a stick. But the second group, they are dangerous. They smile in the struggle. They rise with purpose. They build from a place of joy, not desperation. And success chases them like a shadow. It starts in the mind. Your mind is not a mirror, it is a canvas. If you wake up and all you see is lack, then lack is all you will multiply. But if you wake up and see possibility, every obstacle becomes an invitation. Every delay, a redirection. Every failure, a seed of wisdom. Gratitude is the gear shift of perception. It doesn't mean you stop reaching. It means you stop needing. When you learn to bless the small, the universe trusts you with the great. When you can dance without music, you are ready for the stage. When you can praise the day before it rewards you, you have already won. And yet, don't confuse this with settling. Contentment is not complacency. You weren't put on this earth just to admire the garden, you were made to grow it. The purpose of life is expansion, evolution, mastery. To wake up every day and ask, how far can I go? Who can I become? How many people can I serve? How deep can I love? And in that fire of ambition, you need fuel. That fuel is not anger, not jealousy, not proving the doubters wrong. That burns too quick. You need something richer. You need peace. You need gratitude. You need joy. Because joy is sustainable. Joy is powerful. Joy is magnetic. So you build your day like a temple. Morning, silence, gratitude, clarity, midday, execution, intensity, progress, evening, reflection, stillness, appreciation. This is the rhythm of those who master life. And let's be honest, you're not here to play it safe. You're here to build, to climb, to conquer your limits, but you must do it from the inside out. If you climb with no peace, every summit will feel like a void. If you build without soul, every success will feel counterfeit. But if you plant joy in the soil of now, everything you create will have roots. Don't get it twisted. Being content doesn't mean you're done. It means you're not desperate. It means you don't beg life to be fair, you become stronger. It means you don't beg people to see your worth, you show it through your discipline, your craft, your courage. This is what separates the powerful from the pitiful. Most people want more, but they don't honor what they already have. And life will never give more to someone who disrespects the gift they're holding. You want more wealth? Start by managing the dollars you already have with reverence. You want more love? Start by loving yourself in the mirror when no one's watching. You want more freedom? Start by mastering your time, like it's sacred because it is. This is the mindset of the 1%. Not entitlement, not arrogance, but a deep, unshakable gratitude blended with an unrelenting drive. They say, thank you for the journey while sprinting toward the mountaintop. They celebrate the little wins while orchestrating empires. They find peace in progress, not perfection. And then comes belief, the inner engine of transformation. Without belief, discipline dies. Without belief, clarity fades. Without belief, purpose becomes pain. But when you believe that you are worthy, when you believe that life bends for the bold, then nothing is off limits. But belief is not a gift, it is forged. You earn it every time you show up when it's hard. Every time you choose growth over excuses. Every time you keep your word to yourself when it would be easier to run. It's the belief that says, I am not here to just survive. I am here to shape my destiny. I am not a product of my past. I am a sculptor of my future. My circumstances are not cages. They are classrooms. And once that belief takes root, clarity blooms. Clarity is the compass. Without it, even the strongest will lose themselves. You must know what you want, not just in the surface sense, but in the soul sense. Why do you want more money? To feel secure? To build freedom? To lift others? Find the root. Because surface goals fade. Soul goals fuel you. And when you find your clarity, don't whisper it. Don't hope it into existence. Declare it. Speak it. Write it down. Build systems around it. Make it so real in your mind that the world has no choice but to reflect it. Clarity gives birth to vision. Vision is the movie playing in your head long before the world believes it. It is the mental blueprint of the life you will build. You must protect that vision like a sacred flame. Do not let the opinions of small minds blow it out. Do not let the weight of today shrink the size of your tomorrow. Feed your vision daily. Write it, speak it, visualize it, and then back it with purpose. Purpose is the rocket fuel. It's what wakes you up early and keeps you grinding long after motivation dies. It is the why behind the what. When your purpose is clear, pain becomes fuel. Rejection becomes redirection. Loss becomes lesson. But you must choose a purpose bigger than your ego. A purpose that serves, that lifts, that expands. The most powerful lives are not built on selfishness, they're built on impact. And with purpose comes discipline. The bridge between dreams and reality. Discipline is love in action. It is proof that you honor your future more than your comfort. You don't wait for the mood, you build the muscle. You don't wait to feel ready. You show up ready or not. Discipline means doing the work when no one is watching. It means saying no to distractions so you can say yes to destiny. It means mastering your mornings, owning your calendar, and protecting your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. From here, we move into action. Not just motion, not busyness, but bold, deliberate, focused action. The kind that bends time, the kind that breaks patterns, the kind that rewrites your story. You don't get what you want, you get what you work for. You don't attract success by waiting, you chase it with relentless movement. Your actions tell the world what you believe you deserve. And when the action is in motion, the universe begins to respond. Opportunities emerge, people show up, momentum builds. And in that momentum, never forget the sacred power of gratitude. Gratitude keeps you grounded. Gratitude is how you turn pressure into perspective. Gratitude is how you stay rich even before the money arrives. Gratitude is not weakness. It is the mark of emotional royalty. It says, I have everything I need to begin, even when the world tells you you're behind. Gratitude takes a barren room and fills it with vision. Gratitude takes a quiet moment and turns it into fuel. It's the lens that sharpens your ambition, not softens it. It doesn't lower your standards, it raises your awareness. Because once you realize how much you already have, you stop begging and start building. You stop comparing and start creating. You stop fearing and start rising. Gratitude rewires your nervous system to notice opportunity instead of obstacles, lessons instead of losses, progress instead of pain. But life doesn't stay still. It moves. It throws storms and shadows. That's where adaptability is born. The ability to shift, to adjust, to evolve without losing your center. You must be like water, strong enough to carve through rock, soft enough to fill any shape, wise enough to flow around resistance without losing momentum. Adaptability is power. The rigid break, the flexible endure. You must learn to dance with life, not fight it. When the market shifts, pivot. When the door closes, find a window. When the season changes, change with it. Because life owes you nothing, but it will reward those who refuse to break. This is not weakness, it is strategic strength. The oak tree stands tall, but it is the bamboo that bends and survives the storm. Your ability to adapt is not betrayal to your vision, it is loyalty to your evolution. And in that storm, in those long nights where nothing seems to work, where doubt creeps in and the applause is silent, you must summon resilience, the warrior spirit, the fire that refuses to go out, the unshakable commitment that says, I will rise, again, and again, and again. Resilience is not the absence of pain, it is the mastery of response. It's getting back up with bruised knees and bloodied hands and a clearer mind. It's taking every no and turning it into a deeper yes. It's looking failure in the face and saying, you picked the wrong person to break. Because the resilient don't just survive, they adapt, they grow, they ascend. They take tragedy and mold it into testimony. They turn every closed chapter into a prologue of the next breakthrough. Their mindset is forged in adversity. Their dreams are protected by discipline, and their heart beats with purpose. But none of this lives without learning. A mind that is closed will always be limited. The moment you think you've arrived is the moment you start dying. True success demands that you stay a student of life, a student of your craft, a student of your emotions, your patterns, your habits. Study your wins, but study your losses harder. Ask better questions. Listen with hunger. Read like your future depends on it, because it does. You are not just competing with others, you are competing with ignorance, with distraction, with procrastination. And the only way to win that battle is with wisdom. Wisdom sharpens action. Wisdom multiplies results. Wisdom protects you from having to relearn the same hard lessons over and over again. But wisdom doesn't fall from the sky. You earn it in silence, in solitude, in setbacks. You earn it by staying humble, by choosing curiosity over pride, by surrounding yourself with those who challenge you, not just those who cheer for you. And through it all, never forget the final piece, the secret thread running through all this power. Joy. Not just the joy of success, but the joy in the grind, the joy of effort, the joy of becoming. Because if you cannot enjoy the journey, the destination will always feel hollow. Joy is not an accident. It is a choice, a discipline, a mindset. You can cultivate joy in the gym, in the quiet hours of deep work, in the kitchen with your loved ones, in the rain, in the chaos, in the pursuit. You can decide right now that life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. And when you carry joy with you, the world opens. You don't have to fake confidence, it radiates. You don't have to chase validation, it finds you. You become magnetic. Not because of what you have, but because of who you are becoming. This is the life most never taste. Not because it's out of reach, but because they refuse to become the kind of person who can hold it. So I ask you, can you be grateful and hungry at the same time? Can you love yourself and still demand more? Can you stand in peace while walking through pressure? Because that is the calling. The mediocre wait for permission. The powerful build it themselves. The ordinary complain. The extraordinary convert pain into purpose. You are not here to merely exist. You are here to expand, to rise, to evolve. And you must do it from the inside out. Every morning you must wake up with a fire that says, I am enough, but I will become more. You must train your mind like a warrior. Guard your thoughts like treasure. Feed your spirit like a temple. And move through life with both gratitude and grit. Because this is the secret. Happiness and hunger can coexist. Contentment and ambition are not enemies. You can stand in awe of what you have while reaching for more. That's not contradiction. That's alignment. And when you get this right, when you walk this narrow path between peace and power, everything changes. You stop reacting and start designing. You stop hoping and start commanding. You stop chasing and start attracting. Because the universe does not respond to desperation. It responds to resonance, to alignment, to energy. And when your energy is both calm and committed, grateful and grinding, blessed and building, then nothing can stop you. You will no longer need to prove. You will no longer need to chase. You will become the kind of person who makes the impossible inevitable. So carry this truth like a compass in your soul. Learn to be happy with what you have while you pursue all that you want. And you will unlock a life most only dream of. And when you master that alignment, a strange shift happens in the way the world responds to you. You no longer fight for scraps, you command the feast. You no longer seek validation from the crowd, you move in quiet authority. Because power isn't loud, power is certain. And certainty comes from living in integrity with yourself. When you are happy with what you have, you're no longer controlled by fear. You're not terrified of loss, because your joy is not anchored in things, it's rooted in being. And when you pursue what you want with fire and focus, you no longer rely on luck. You become the cause, not the effect. The initiator, not the reactor. The force, not the follower. This is the state of the awakened. They understand that happiness isn't a reaction, it's a decision. And success isn't a destination, it's a vibration. A frequency you tune into by how you think, how you feel, how you act, how you give. When you wake up each morning, ask yourself, what energy am I choosing today? Scarcity or abundance? Doubt or conviction? Fear or faith? Because you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. You attract what you're willing to become. If you want more, become more. If you want peace, embody it. If you want wealth, carry the mindset of someone who already owns the world. Not with arrogance, but with stewardship, with generosity, with vision. But remember, none of this will ever matter if you don't first decide to become the architect of your own life, not the victim, not the passive passenger waiting for the winds to change. No, you become the wind. You become the storm. You become the sunlight breaking through your own doubt. This is your sacred responsibility. Because life is not about what you get, it's about who you become in the process of getting it. You could have all the money, all the recognition, all the power, and still live in fear if your foundation is fragile. So build it strong, brick by brick. Mindset, gratitude, clarity, resilience, action, faith. Each day, add to your foundation. Not with noise, but with quiet consistency. Not with drama, but with devotion. Not with rush, but with rhythm. You are building a cathedral within yourself. A soul so aligned that it cannot be shaken by external chaos. A purpose so deep that no amount of distraction can pull you from it. A presence so powerful that just by being in the room, others rise. But you must earn that through your habits, through your sacrifices, through your discipline, through the standards you refuse to lower. So let the others coast. Let them settle. Let them make excuses. Let them mock the discipline, the early mornings, the quiet nights of work, because they'll never understand the fire you carry. The reason you refuse to quit, the dream you are willing to bleed for. This life is not for the lazy. It's not for the lukewarm. It's not for those who flirt with potential but never commit. This life, this joy-soaked, power-drenched, purpose-driven life is for the rare few who choose both happiness and hunger, who choose both now and next, who choose to bless their current reality while bending the future in their favor. And when those two forces collide, when contentment fuels your soul and ambition sharpens your focus, you become unstoppable. You become the type of person who builds empires with grace, who loves deeply without losing direction, who walks into any room and doesn't need to announce their worth. It echoes in their energy. This is the path, and it will not be easy, but it will be worth it. You will be tested, not once, not twice, but repeatedly. Life will ask you, how bad do you want it? Who will you be when it's hard? What will you choose when no one is watching? And your answer must always be the same. I will be grateful and relentless. I will be joyful and driven. I will be present and powerful. I will hold the paradox in my hands like a sword and a shield. Because those who win in life are not just the strongest or the smartest. They are the ones who hold on the longest, who adapt the fastest, who love the deepest, who stay grounded while reaching for the stars. And make no mistake, you are capable of that. All of it. You are not here to live someone else's version of success. You are not here to check boxes or seek approval. You are here to create, to disrupt, to build something so real that the world cannot look away. But it begins with a decision, not tomorrow, not when you're ready, not when you feel like it. Now, right now, decide that you are enough but becoming more. Decide that where you are is a blessing but not your final form. Decide that your gratitude will fuel your fire, not put it out. Because the world is waiting for your light, your full light, not the version dimmed by fear or diluted by doubt. And the moment you decide to stop waiting and start embodying that power, you will feel it. The shift, the alignment, the click, as if the universe was holding its breath, waiting for you to arrive. So walk forward, not in fear, but in certainty, not in desperation, but in destiny. You were born to walk this line, to master this paradox, to be happy with what you have while you pursue all that you want. And once you do, everything changes. Because the game doesn't end when you find balance, it begins. Real life starts when you carry peace into war. When you walk through uncertainty with inner stability. When you stop chasing outcomes and start embodying your highest self now. And here's the truth they never taught you in school. You don't need more time. You don't need more talent. You don't need better luck. You need intensity. You need clarity. You need decision. You need to wake up every single day and declare, not whisper, but declare, this is who I am. This is what I'm building. This is what I stand for. And then live it. In how you speak, in how you move, in how you treat others, in how you treat yourself when no one is watching. Because people think results are about information. No. Results are about identity. Who you are when it's inconvenient. Who you are when things fall apart. Who you are when it would be easy to quit, but something inside whispers, one more rep, one more step, one more day. That's where destiny is formed. In the shadows, in the grit, in the hours where no one is clapping and nothing feels glamorous, but you do the work anyway, with joy, with presence, with power. And it's in that space between who you are and who you're becoming that you unlock your potential. You see, the version of you that has everything you want, they don't live in the future. They live in your decisions today, your rituals, your standards, your language, your energy. You become them not by waiting, but by aligning now. So how do you align? You start by honoring your word to yourself. Every time you follow through, your confidence compounds. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your self-worth increases. And when your self-worth is high, you stop settling for mediocrity. You stop tolerating distraction. You stop apologizing for greatness. And here's what no one tells you. That kind of self-respect is rare. It intimidates the insecure. It threatens the average, but it liberates the powerful. Because once you respect yourself at that level, you stop chasing love, you attract it. You stop chasing wealth, you magnetize it. You stop chasing success, you become it. But none of this happens by accident. It's engineered through intention, through mastery of the basics, the boring stuff, the unseen stuff, the early mornings, the consistent reps, the deep work, the emotional regulation, the tight focus, the painful honesty. Because mastery is not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's quiet, repetitive, unsexy, but it is divine. And if you can fall in love with the process, not just the prize, you become dangerous. Because now you can't be stopped. You're not doing it for applause. You're not doing it for permission. You're doing it because it's who you are. And who you are will always outlast what you have. Let that sink in. Who you are will always outlast what you have. Because the money might fluctuate. The recognition might fade. The environment might shift. But the person you've become, the mindset, the heart, the fire that never leaves you. So while others are chasing, you're becoming. While others are waiting, you're creating. While others are complaining, you're refining. And little by little, day by day, you rise. Not as a lucky one, not as a chosen one, but as a forged one. Forged by fire, forged by choice, forged by the relentless, unwavering, unapologetic pursuit of a life that reflects your worth. So, what do you do when it gets hard? You breathe. You remember why you started. You lock in on your vision. You hold space for your gratitude. And then you move. You move with precision, with presence, with peace. Because the world doesn't need more people chasing trophies. It needs more people becoming truth. And when you live this way, when you walk with gratitude and grind in equal measure, you don't just change your life. You change everyone who witnesses you. Your presence becomes a permission slip. Your discipline becomes a mirror. Your energy becomes a catalyst. And before long, your life becomes a lighthouse shining, not because of what you have, but because of who you chose to be in the dark. That's the legacy. That's the impact. That's the reward for those who choose both happiness and hunger. And if that's you, then keep going, keep building, keep becoming, because your best life isn't ahead of you. It's inside of you, waiting to be released through your next decision. And that next decision, it may seem small. It may look like waking up 10 minutes earlier, saying no when it would be easier to say yes, pushing through one more set, one more chapter, one more call. But never underestimate the compounding power of small decisions made with intention. A life of greatness isn't built in dramatic moments, it's sculpted in the mundane, the unseen, the uncomfortable, the ordinary choices repeated with extraordinary consistency. That's the forge where legends are made, not in arenas, but in silence, not under lights, but under pressure, not in front of crowds, but in front of the mirror. And that mirror, it will reflect your truth back to you. It will show you where you hide, where you lie to yourself, where you fall short of your own potential. And if you're courageous enough to face it, to see clearly without flinching, then you're already halfway there. Because awareness is the beginning of transformation. You cannot change what you will not confront. So confront it. Look at your routines, your relationships, your priorities. Are they aligned with the person you say you want to become? Are they building your dream or breaking it down? And if not, shift. Don't wait. Don't wish. Shift. You are not a tree. You are not rooted in your past. You are not a victim of your habits. You are not a slave to your former self. You can evolve. You can redesign. You can rise. But only if you stop trying to change everything around you and start by mastering what's within you. The battle is always internal first. The battlefield is your mind. The weapons are your thoughts. The enemies are fear, laziness, doubt, and delay. And you must become a warrior of awareness. You must know when resistance is speaking and refuse to let it lead. Because resistance will whisper, "You've done enough. You can rest. No one will notice. It's not that big of a deal." But your destiny demands more. Your legacy requires a higher standard. Your soul cannot be satisfied by shortcuts. So you train your mind like an athlete trains their body. You don't wait until it's easy. You train until it's automatic, until showing up is the default, until pushing forward is your reflex. This is what separates amateurs from masters. Amateurs work when it feels good. Masters work until it's part of who they are. And when your habits become identity, when discipline becomes instinct, then results become inevitable. That's when the floodgates open. Not just of success, but of peace, of alignment, of deep soul-anchored satisfaction. Because you know you're walking in integrity. You know you're living your truth. You know that every step, every sacrifice, every repetition is taking you closer, not just to what you want, but to who you were born to be. That's what most miss. They chase outcomes, but never ask, Who must I become to sustain this? Who must I be to attract this? Who must I embody to hold it with grace? And the answer is always the same. You must become a person who is both full and reaching, grateful and growing, content yet never complacent. You must be able to stand still in peace while the world spins around you, to smile before the win, to love before the applause, to give before the return, because that's where your power lives, in that sacred tension, that holy paradox, the ultimate expression of mastery, to have the patience to plant and the hunger to harvest, to have the humility to listen and the confidence to speak, to have the softness of gratitude and the fire of ambition coexisting in perfect harmony. That's when you're unstoppable. That's when you're free. That's when the pursuit becomes not a burden, but a celebration, not a chase, but a dance. You become the storm and the stillness, the thunder and the sunrise, the calm before and after your own greatness. And that is a life worth waking up for. You were never meant for the sidelines. You were never meant to play small, to dim your light, to dilute your soul for the comfort of others. You were born to stand in the fire of your own becoming, to carry joy in one hand and hunger in the other, to walk a path that few dare because it demands all of you. But this life, this sacred tension, this paradox of presence and pursuit, it's not a burden. It's a gift reserved for those who choose courage over comfort, decision over doubt, mastery over mediocrity. You are not just chasing a dream, you are building a new identity. You are not just stacking wins, you are forging a soul. You are not just becoming successful, you are becoming whole. And in that wholeness, you will find everything you've ever searched for. Not in the cars, or the applause, or the zeros in your bank account, but in who you had to become to deserve them. Because the truth is, success without soul is a prison. Fame without foundation is a curse. Wealth without wisdom is a weight that crushes. But when you build your life from the inside out, when you ground your ambition in gratitude, when you wrap your pursuit in presence, when you wrap your power in humility, you unlock a different kind of success. The kind that expands others, the kind that heals your lineage, the kind that echoes beyond your lifetime. So let this be your vow. From this day forward, I will be happy with what I have while I pursue all that I want. I will live in reverence for the now while moving with fury toward the next. I will not shrink to fit. I will not dim to belong. I will not wait to be chosen. I choose myself. I claim my vision. I build in silence. I rise in truth. Because my life is not a compromise. It is a masterpiece in motion. And I will paint it with boldness, with brilliance, and with blood, if I must. Because I am not here to survive. I am here to lead. I am here to build. I am here to love with fire, to grow without apology, to pursue, to rise, to expand, to become. I am the storm and the sanctuary, the flame and the foundation, the present moment, and the unfolding miracle. And I will never again forget that the key to everything I want is learning to be happy with what I have while I pursue all that I want. And so I rise. And so I build. And so it begins forever.